Oh, let's start. So hello everybody and a warm welcome from my side to today's event. I'm very happy to be here today and I will give you an overview about our company. I hope it does not take too long, but over the next few minutes I will be talking about the world of adesso. So I also thought a lot about the content of this company presentation, and I came to the conclusion that I don't want to penetrate you with these classical numbers-based company presentations. Everybody knows. So I mean, I have some numbers in the presentation, but I really try to keep it simple. I will more focus on the question, what is it, what makes adesso adesso? So core values, culture, and philosophy. And when you look at the slide, you can see grow together. So I will try to explain this, why I have chosen this. Most people think that adesso is just another IT service provider with IT consulting and software development, like so many others, which of course is true, but this does not give the whole picture about us. So for adesso and the people in the group, the so-called adessi, it's all about growth. And this probably makes you think of value growth or even data volumes. And yes, these both are part of it. But when we say grow together, this means growing on so many different levels. So needless to say, we want to grow as a company and to continue our story. But at the same time, we want to grow together with our customers, our partners, and also you. So for us, growing together means developing as an individual, as company, and as a society by raising the bar. And I really think this fits very good for the event today, because us having an exchange within a community that shares the same mindset and getting new perspectives through the exchange, this makes us grow together. Okay, so let's get it started. Maybe a few words about me. My name is Matthias Gretler. I'm already 5 years at adesso and I'm a team lead and managing consultant. So what am I doing here in the company? First, I have a consulting team here in Graz, which I'm steadily trying to evolve. Second, I'm responsible for the account management in the public sector in Styria and Graz. And third, I'm also doing project business in various roles and various kinds of projects. So up from conceptual project design to operational software implementation. So let's try to summarize it. What is adesso in one sentence? So we optimize the company's core business process by providing consulting services and developing tailor-made software and industry solutions. So we see ourselves as end-to-end digitalization partner for our customers, and we accompany our customers from the creation of an idea to the finished software product. So this now, what I told you, is what adesso offers to our partners and customers from a product and service perspective. But according to me, what is far more interesting for us today is what makes adesso adesso. And this brings me to the next slides. It's about the adesso culture code. The adesso culture code is really a central component of our corporate culture and defines the values and principles that shape our daily interaction and collaboration at adesso Austria, and even further more in the whole adesso group. So the culture code is more or less some kind of DNA and identity that lies within the people and in our organization. And it's the set of shared values and beliefs and behaviors and norms that shape how we interact with each other, how we make decisions, and how we work together. So I brought to you our 4 core principles. So we are one adesso. At adesso, we try to inspire our customers with convincing solutions by combining the expertise of all units within the whole adesso group. So we prioritize what is best for adesso as a whole. And in short words, the entire adesso group pulls together as one adesso. Okay. So second core principle is we are hands-on. So at adesso, we embody a hands-on mentality, and that drives really through everything we do. So we are quick, we are pragmatic, and uncomplicated and flexible. We approach challenges with a solution-oriented mindset, not by dwelling on problems. And we understand that software can have errors and people can make mistakes, but we address them openly to try to learn from them. So this hands-on approach ensures that we remain agile, effective, and committed to delivering value in every project. And we go on with, we are open-minded. At adesso, respect and friendliness are essential. So this starts with a simple hello or a thank you or just a smile. And we value open feedback and stay open-minded in discussion. We see diversity as an opportunity and foster transparent communication. So the fourth and last one is we are straightforward. So as in every company, economic success matters, that's clear, but it's not everything. So we are team players who follow our core values with passion, commitment, and professionalism, and not with ideology, which means that we are not to say clearly no when needed, always explaining our decisions openly. Our principle is quite simple: no politics, no hidden agendas. So just honesty and integrity. So to sum this up all together, for me personally, the culture code goes far beyond the concept of a classic corporate identity, because it takes place on a much more human level and is something you can really feel among the branches and locations in the adesso group. Okay, so far so good. I will give you now a small overview about our adesso group company location. So let's change the altitude to a map perspective, and on this you can see we are represented in 17 countries. We are with a spread in over 60 cities, and on the map you can see we have a high share, especially in Europe, with a focus on Central Europe, where the DACH region is the main business of us currently. But when you look a little bit into the eastern direction, you can already see we have also expanded to Saudi Arabia and India already. Now comes the slide. As I said, I have taken a few numbers, but I really tried to keep it simple. I will start with the map, where you can see we have currently two offices in Austria. The one is in Graz, we are now, and the bigger one in Vienna. And we have planned a third one in Linz, which should be upcoming in the next few years. Here are some numbers which are quite interesting. I think we have an increase of 408% in our employees in the last 8 years. We have a quite low fluctuation too, smaller than 5%, and a relatively high female presentation of 30% in all our service portfolio fields, which you can see here on the right side. We have consulting services, digital experience, which is mainly digital marketing, branding, UX, UI. The core one, the development in the middle, is the biggest one. And we also have testing and data and analytics service portfolio. Good. Just a small overview, a big overview actually of our portfolio. On the top, you can see the industry expertise or the industry services where the adesso group is in. For example, health insurance, public, retail, and many more. End-to-end, I already explained before, we're trying to come from the idea to the finished product. Adesso also offers some program solutions, which you can see in this lighted green frame. And on the top, we have the technologies we are using. Just for information, this is really the portfolio of the whole group. In Austria, we are not offering everything, but you have the possibility to fall back to Germany, for example, when you have any needs in projects, that you can get back to the expertise we have as one adesso, as the whole group. Here, just again, an overview of our portfolio now for Austria. As I said, we are end-to-end offering solutions, which you can see on the horizontal axis, more or less, with research and strategy, also in the field of solution and delivery, and latest the optimization and management field. And with our service portfolio, we operate in all these fields. Okay. Maybe one thing from the presentation I maybe want you to take with you is the guiding principle we have here in our company. So it's not just a slogan, but a powerful mindset that really drives us forward as individuals, as company, and as a society. And yeah, with these words, let's grow together and have a nice evening here today. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. Thanks for having me here today. I'm Gabriel. I'm currently the CTO at Supreme, but in daily practice, it means I'm mostly in charge of the backend team. But over the years, I've had many different roles because we are a small company and you kind of do whatever needs to be done. And all in all put together, I guess I have about 10 years of experience in an agile environment. And today I want to share how we at Supreme are currently working, because I think it's a bit of an individual framework that we come up with by iterating a lot on how we did things. So what am I going to talk about today? It's really, I hope it's not going to be too long of a presentation. I try to keep it very to the point and pragmatic. Sorry, yeah. So first, just a few words who we are company-wise, because it's very connected to why we work the way that we do, to see a little bit what we do. Then the struggle, the history that we had over the years about things that didn't work so well, things that worked well, and some improvement attempts that we had. And then I'm just going to show our current project management workflow, and maybe I hope some of you can take away some interesting learnings from that. Yeah. So who are we? So more or less working on the core product, or the core products are about 20 people now working on actually around 8 different products. And I put here my favorite, or our favorite agile manifesto excerpts, which are individuals in the interactions over processes and tools, and responding to change over following a plan. So if you read a bit between the lines, what that means is that we are very spontaneously reacting to whatever comes across from customer wishes and how we can respond to that. And also that we try to accommodate the people that are actually working in a company as best as we can. So to see like that the process that we have fits how people like to work in the company, so that we work as efficient as possible while also having fun doing the stuff we do. Cool. And the second slide about the introduction is it's a sales slide. I took it from a sales presentation, but it's just the best overview I think that I can have with giving a little bit of a look into what we're doing. So basically, Scan and Go is what we started off with. So we do, you can go into a supermarket, you use an app to scan products, and then you can pay for them on your phone. And so you don't need to go to the traditional cash register. That's kind of how we started out. And over the years, we accumulated multiple extensions. So we have our own self-checkout cash register here, the matrix that you can see. We have the vector on the lower right, which is more like an exit gate. So it's at the end of the store where you scan your code or receipt, and then it lets you leave the store by opening up a gate. We have a handheld scanner down here below. This is actually just an Android device, but it has like a hardware scanner built into it. The newest trend in the retail sector that you might also see in stores in the next years, maybe not in Austria, but if you travel to other countries that are a bit more that would have those solutions, is the what we call the snap card. So it's like basically a big Android tablet that you take and you put on a shopping cart. And then as you go through the store, you pass products by the tablet, it scans it, and then you can pay directly on the card. And you also another solution for self-checkout. So yeah, and bit invisible here, because it's a sales presentation, is because is the backend. So the backend is connected to all of those clients. And it is also customizable to individual customers that we have. So actually, while all the clients that you see here, usually the releases that we do there, they are not like based on a specific customer, but it's like one product. But on the backend side, we also have like different flavors where we offer customization specific to retailer flows that they have. So what that means is we have a lot of different products and artifacts that we need to keep track of. And this brings me to our struggle. A lot of things come to mind, and I put them all here, but the slide is meant to be a bit overwhelming. I don't really want to go into all of these. I pick some of them out. Maybe the first one and most important one that we learned a bit early on is that we tried for quite a while to make like a Scrum by the book work in our company with the setup that we have. And we quickly found that it was very hard to be aligned with it, because we don't have like a real increment that the whole team can commit to in any given time span. We have too much artifacts and releases that don't really align with those with the standard flows that we have there. It's also like the next thing, the releases, they happen often and spontaneously due to customer demands or so. We found that we kept spending more time to make the process work than actually working efficiently. So we iterated a bit away from it. A whole different thing is ownership. So we really wanted people in the team to be like passionate about what they're doing and not just be like, get the ticket, code it, done, but be like, ideally own a feature from conception to development and to PR testing, putting it on some customer system, putting it on production, getting feedback, iterating on it, and just making sure that it works. So we really wanted to try to enable the team to do that. Reduce distractions is a big one, especially like for development, to allow people to can already hear it now, to focus on their work that they're supposed to be doing. And yeah, and then the two quotes on the right is more like what I mentioned earlier, that we try to be like a very customer-focused company with being very open to customer wishes and be quick to iterate upon demands. Yeah. So what did we do? Couple of different things. We quickly like moved from by the book Scrum more to something like Scrumban, or like basically different variations of the process. But what stuck with us until this day is that we are working on a weekly basis. So our whole workflow that we have, that's like, well, it's a neutral phase there, because like the actual workflow changed a bit, but the weekly cycle we liked and we stuck with. So that's been working well. Having a mixture of full team and sub team meetings. I mean, it's kind of obvious, but still spending some time to think a bit about where do you want to have like 20 people in a room, and when do you want to have like 4 or 5 people in the room, and making the decision correctly so that nobody feels left out, but also nobody is bored when they sit in a meeting room. That was very valuable to try to get that right. Also for a while we tried at the end of every week or sprint or whatever to go in a review over every ticket that we did, because we wanted to have the whole team be aware of what's going on, so that ideally the noble goal was everybody knows what's going on, what the big what the big idea is, or what to get out there. But in practice, then everybody was bored. It took way too long. A lot of stuff was spent on discussing topics that very few people were interested in. So that was not so good. We also, the next 2 points are a bit related. Refinement by tech leads only in the estimations. So we tried on the one hand to cut some corners in the refinement area by not having the whole team refine complicated tickets, but just the tech leads, and giving some ballpark estimations. And actually for both of those, we kind of learned for us as a product company, estimations are actually not so valuable. We don't do them a lot. You kind of just do what needs to be done. And when you need to know how long something's going to take, it's only to make like some offer to our customer. And for that, we get together, the relevant people, but just for the development team alone, not so useful. We kind of moved away from that. And also the refinement, we align in the teams on the goals of tickets and features and epics so that everybody knows what the outcome should be. But the discussion on how to do it technically is then done in people, like in sub teams, in one of meetings, because with so many products or so, everybody is specialized in some areas, but nobody is specialized in all of them. So we just try to be like, when something big comes along, get those people together and they refine it. So it's more like very much on a one-on-one and small group basis. And yeah, last but not least, the feature teams. Those are basically vertical teams. So if you have some feature, big feature, you just get, you make a kickoff meeting, you get a mobile developer, backend developer, UX person in there, and all the stakeholders and also QA also. And they discuss first you set the stage with like what the company goal is to accomplish there, and then you go a little bit into technical details, how something could be approached, and then you just hand it over to mostly the devs or like the people who will then produce the work, and they then self-organize on working together. Also, like physically, we also had like rooms dedicated for this, that people who are working on big features that just go together and sit together and work on stuff. That mostly went like pretty well. And in the beginning, we organized that a lot from project management and PO side. And now it's more like you just do the kickoff and then it kind of happens naturally that people just go to each other and talk to each other. I mean, it sounds obvious, but it took us a while like to get people actually just do that. It was necessary for us to actually give a little bit of a setup first, and then I feel like now it's more part of the culture, that it's more self-organizing. Cool. But still lots of things you can improve upon. And often we try to reflect often on our processes, and like every year or two, we also do like a workshop where we get together and try to figure out how we can improve the processes. And one of these was beginning of last year. And there in a couple of days, we actually wasted a lot of time because we were more focusing on like the list of issues that I showed you a couple of slides before with like 20 things and how to solve each. And then it was not so successful, and we wasted time because we thought, oh, maybe the team is too big, how to split it up. And then we tried to focus a bit more on goals, which are mostly obvious goals, because work more efficiently. Yeah, sure. Build team competence. It's all obvious, but like if you try to focus on the positive outcome more, it's easier to get some concrete actions first. And what we also thought we're going to try, we pick some of those and make a big change, and then reevaluate again, because maybe this big change makes the set of issues differently. And we picked reduce focus switches, and make work more visible by the bigger ones that we picked for the big change. And the big change was, as the title says, focus. Ta-da! What is it? The haters would say it's a ticket in disguise, but it's a bit more than a ticket. So it's a similar concept. So it's an entity, and it says this is what a person should work on for the upcoming week. It can be related to a ticket, and with a ticket, I usually mean like a Jira ticket. We use Jira in the background and still do. But the important thing is like, this is on a board, you look at it every day, and if you ever ask yourself, what should I be doing? It's the one focus item there, and this is the most important stuff you should do this week. And we have it there. Also, we found like the sweet spot is like about 2 focus items per person per week, because sometimes you just wait on things. If it's, I don't know, comments on your PR, customer feedback, on QA or whatever, it's good to have like at least 2. And so that's the one thing. So it's not so different from a ticket, but a little bit. And the visual tooling, that was actually a thing that worked, that had way more impact than we first thought of. We first thought of it's just a side thing, that we switch a little bit from gyro and try some other thing. And that actually, I don't know, made the whole thing really, really work. I think I just want to show. Okay. On the next slide, I will show. And to just understand, to be transparent about how we work, this is basically the meetings that we have in the week. And we, 20 people, in the green slots, we get together as the whole team. So every day we stand physically in one room, 20 people, and have a daily 10 to 15 minutes. It has to be very disciplined to be that short. It's mostly, honestly, just reporting to management because you cannot discuss in detail there. So that's good, but also identifying who stays afterwards and talks with who. And that's working well so far. And the other thing is the weekly review. That's about an hour, but usually we are also done in 40 minutes. Then a roadmap, what do we do, like project management and team leads get together to figure out the next couple of weeks. Refinement meetings for mobile and backend. Focus assignment as team leads get together and say, what is the next focus for the coming week? And this is a new one, the backend release roadmap, because as I mentioned before, we have lots of variations based on customers in the backend. And you sometimes have to plan like 15 or 20 releases in the next 1 or 2 months. And it's just good to continually make sure that you haven't forgotten anything. Is this still on track? Is this still on track? This is something we're currently experimenting a bit, but it's been working nicely so far. So this is the whole meeting setup for all the 20 people in the week in recurring meetings. And in the end, how does it look like? Demo. Hope it works. So I prepared this, and this is basically the board. This is the focus board, as to say. So it's a FigJam board. So it's like a product of Figma. It's like Miro, kinda, right? And basically every vertical column that you see here is a week. So this is 1 week, this is the next week. So I copied out some of our actual board contents and put them here and removed sensitive information. But it's basically, this is how it looks like. And every day during daily, while the people are talking in the daily, you have this one on the wall, on the beamer, and you go basically from person to person. And immediately you see me cheating because for project management, we just put dark magic stickers because honestly, project management, it's mostly such tiny pieces of items that you do, like talk to that guy, talk to that customer, that it didn't really pay off to define focuses there. But for all the other sub-teams, it worked quite well. In contrast, here the mobile team, like ideally how it should be, everybody has 2 nice focus items. As you can see here, for Sam, for example, every item is connected to actually links to a gyro ticket where more details are. This is like a larger, this is a smaller one. This is some epic. Also, here's a sticker for a feature team. So somebody further down at the backend team will also be working on the backend side for this. Yeah, this is basically how it looks like. You go from person to person. Creating support people here. This is me doing random stuff. Yeah, and this is basically you go over the daily every day and just see is everything on track. Then on the review section, so once a week you get together and we go into the review section, and this is basically our evolution from going every gyro ticket is you just have this and people put whatever they like there. And it's very visual, and I think that really makes it a lot more interesting to the dev team. Because I mean, it's obvious, I guess, for more front-end work and designer work, which is always a bit visual, and you can have some nice designs here. But also with just a little bit of effort, you can also show off, like if you really have an interesting backend feature to share that the team should know, why not just put like a screenshot of a Swagger or Postman there and explain a little bit. So people choose by themselves what they think is worth sharing with the team. And it's like, yeah, it's super memey. People like put stickers there, and they really like it. Like here, designer made some adjustments for the new liquid glass feature. So it's captivating, I think. So like people are engaged, they look at it, and they like to put content there. Exactly. So this is basically it. Yeah, here, for example, a bit more dev code snippets. This is the one thing. And then the next thing, I mean, here I really had to delete everything. But basically what we also had is like then we also go, and for every customer, we say, oh, there's an upcoming go live, or this big feature is going live. This is like project management creates that here, and there's for every customer meeting for updates. And then at the end of the weekly review meeting, you open up the focus items for next week, and then you look at those. Yeah. And that's basically it. Here I just put a bit more details on how like the items can look like. So Flo, our designer, put a lot of effort into those. So you have like we have different setups for vacation. You put here if somebody's on vacation, if somebody's blocked, you can mark it like this. The tickets themselves, like the focus items are like tickets kinda, but like super simplified. You have like, this is not started yet. Then you have like one in progress and one done. And like really I think I have it on a slide later on, but since I'm here now, like the big advantage of this is also like you are super quick with changes. Like it's a small thing because you think I can go to Jira and adjust my ticket and Epic quickly, of course, but it just feels more effortless that if you go here and so like, actually do this instead. And then like you change something here, you discuss it with the person and you say, okay, you put it there. So it really takes, it reduces required time from, at least for us, from the bottlenecked people, like which are more like the team leads or project managements, and they can be very quick about communicating changes. So this is something you can do to showcase that something's over the deadline already. If it's really, really over the deadline, you can use that one. Some other vacation indicator. Yeah, this is a game changer, like from Una, right? So if sales came along and says, there's this presentation tomorrow, I'm so sorry that I didn't notify you earlier, but really we need this. And then you can put this somewhere to visualize it. So if somebody's sick, you can put this. Exactly. So it's just very simple, very playful, very, very memey also here with the reviews. I mean, there's some more reviews to have something good to share here, but it's basically, yeah, for example, this is a part like you can visualize work that's not so easily visualized before, like with the development work, okay, but you also can put stuff like from project management. So like, oh, there was this trade fair. For the trade fair, you had a mini quick board to get like the items going. This is from our trade fair, some retailer trade fair where we went there, and you can put some pictures, show it to the whole team. Look, this is like the demo you prepared, and this how it looks like in real, and can even have like videos. Does it play? Not really, but in theory it should. Yeah, so it's easier to showcase any kind of content updates. Yeah, so that's what we did, and that's the demo, I think. Exactly, so that was the new tooling, and I guess I mentioned all of the things already. More presentation, yeah, super quick to update, yeah. So this is just to recap what we found worked there. What to improve still? I mean, a lot actually got better a bit on its own. So we have been doing this now for a bit more than a year. And like if I would have presented like a couple of months or half a year ago, I would have had like review participation still on there. Because at the beginning it was like not everybody was as motivated to present as everybody else. So some people would have to talk a bit, please show your stuff more, or be a bit, and it varies. Some people are just more likely to present than others. But in general, the participation is high because people know like they show off what you did last week. Like, did you do nothing last week that's interesting? Probably not. Like, because actually we are happy to say that I would say that everybody who's on the Supreme team like actually likes to get something going, and then they want to show off and get some feedback back from the other team. So that actually kind of got better on its own. The feature team organization That was something at the beginning. That was the overhead that I said, like if people are supposed to work together, that we have like to force them to go to this meeting, talk again or so, and then now it got better on its own, like not exactly as a PM or PO would wish it, that like they keep track of everything they discuss and put it in some comments somewhere, but they get the job done. They just like talk if it's needed, and they might not go to the same physical location and do pair programming, but they align in Slack and in person how it's necessary and get it done. So that also got better on its own. What's of course a given with this approach is you have redundant information and effort, because as I said before, we do still have Jira. It's still good to have it. It's where like all the more specific details and requirements are, where you can put actual files, have epics, link stuff together, keep track of releases or so. So that's still there. It's just, it's basically what we did is we built a Jira dashboard on steroids with only 20% of the content, because it's a very simple board. So it just helps us to more visually present what is the most important stuff to get done. But it means if you have a Jira ticket, you write the title there, then you go to the fiction board, you write the title there, and then you put the link there and say, see this Jira ticket. That's the trade-off that we have. So far, we are fine with it. We might maybe look into just into some Figma plugins or Fiction plugins to see if we can automate some of that stuff, but it's okay. Another thing where I'm not so sure if everybody would say that it's okay is we still have a backlog in Jira, and the most important stuff gets done. That's good. If somebody is aware of it and puts it as a focus item, which is mostly up to the team leads, but sometimes some stuff gets overlooked and it doesn't go on there, and sometimes stuff is like kind of important but not really important, and it stays in the backlog for a long time if everybody is assigned to some focus item. So I think you could see it from a business owner kind of view. It's like, okay, but the most important stuff always gets done, so it's good. From a dev point of view, where I say like, okay, but that refactoring ticket, it should really be done now soon, and like, yeah, but it's not so important. It might be sometimes frustrating, so finding the balance there is still a little bit of a learning, and we want to iterate on a bit more, and yeah, just try to find out how to best approach this. And a roadmap I put in a parenthesis, because our roadmap planning is tedious and annoying and doesn't work so well, honestly. It changes a lot. We get the job done, but we're not happy with the tooling and the process. But also I put it in parentheses because it's, I think, a bit more of a staffing issue right now. So we are looking like to just change who is in charge of what there. So it's, I would say, only slightly connected to this tooling that I've showed you today for the day-to-day workflow. Exactly. One more slide. Takeaways, very simple stuff, I guess, but still maybe good to keep in mind is to don't be afraid to reiterate on your process, which doesn't mean like reinvent the wheel every time. So we tried to make obvious, well-known project management approaches work for us. And we kept a lot of the parts there, like some parts like the refinement, the daily, like a lot of the boilerplate stuff is still there, but then we just built on top of it, tweaked it, and made it fit to our team. And I think we are happy now, happier at least. Because I guess the big takeaway, like when I ask my colleagues, like what's the most important takeaway from this? Like the thing is now, I think that everybody would say a process never stands in our way. And that was not always the case. Like especially at the beginning, you felt like you spent time to just make the project management work and that's roadmap work and create that ticket, and you have to fulfill those, I don't know, required fields in Jira. So, and like now we don't feel that we just do the work just to have some nice looking, I don't know, graphs or something. So we feel like at least nobody is complaining about the process is so annoying. It's more that like stuff could be more efficient here or there. And I think that's mostly a good place to be in and to improve upon. So yeah, that's it, I guess. And I think, yeah. And yeah, thank you. This is the presentation. Special shout out to the awesome team. I did not come up with this on my own, not at all. It's like everybody contributed, especially my colleagues Flo and David. Flo did the whole visual stuff that you saw there, and David has like had many discussions with him on how to align it, the focus flow thing that we have now. Yeah. Cool. That's it. Thank you.
So, as mentioned, we have some questions already, which is always great. So, in case you have further questions, just ask or see if your question is already around. Let's start already with the first one. Can you explain the concept of the team ownership over the feature?
Yeah, team's ownership over the feature. I think that it's important. We think that it's important that for the person who does the work, who like implements a feature, comes up with the UX flow or so, to really care about it bringing benefit to the end user. So I guess that's the core principle, and that does not end with like passing QA or so. So, but like that ends with like it being out there, and you get some feedback back either from our customers, which are retailers, or from end customers, which are people in the supermarkets, and then to be a little bit self-driven if they see like it's not working as they thought it would, as we thought it would, that they like might suggest on their own, I saw this feedback and like I think we can do it this or that way. So I think like that's not a base requirement of a developer. I think that's maybe, I'm not sure how unusual it is, but I think ideally in a perfect world, I would like to work with people who think like that, because it would be nice. And I guess that's what I mean with.
So you mentioned that at the end, until releasing or having it in the store, at the beginning, the creation of the task. And does this still the PO create the tasks, or how?
Okay. Yes. The PO creates the tasks, or PO. Some people fulfill the roles of the PO at our company actually. But we like for anything that's a bit larger than like a day effort or something, there's usually a kick-off discussion. So like basically where you actually talk about what the goal of the feature is, and where you can push back, and also discuss about maybe this or that is more sensible, and then like you go in loop. So it's like, yes, it's often not written by the people who implement it, but they do in general have a lot of freedom in like adjusting it and like talking about it, maybe like even going in a whole different approach or so. Yeah. If this is hopefully an answer for that, I think.
Yeah. So, and to come to the next question already, which is somehow related, are the team members only working on tasks they are specialized in, or are they usually full stack developers and fulfilling all the implementation?
More specialized in, but it's not. It's where to draw the lines. So as you saw on the board before, we like roughly grouped into mobile and backend, but those are like very loose terms, because backend doesn't mean only like Java backend coding or so. It also means like full stack web basically, and mobile can be lots of different projects. So it's like, I would say a lot of the people, everybody of the people doesn't just have like one specialization, but they know a lot of different areas. And there's almost like no area that's only owned by one person. So like we have like islands of specialization where nobody lives alone, but like we try to have at least 2 or 3 people there, and like basically that's how we try to keep it.
So the next one is a good one, because we already talked about it. Do you think that would scale to 40, 80, 100 people?
I mean, I don't know. I'm probably not, honestly, because like I put it in the title at the first slide. It's for awkward team sizes. So it's I think this is like what works for us with like the size of like 20, which is like definitely too large for one team, but like maybe just large enough for 2. separate teams or so, but not so large. So I think it would probably scale up until we are like maybe 30-ish people at the most, but then we have to figure out something new again. So I think I'm not, it's like, so maybe not sure who it's actually helpful for. I guess the message here is less do this what we are doing, but more like try to adjust your stuff, I guess. Yeah. And this is what we came up with. Maybe somebody can take something from it.
Perfect. So the next one is who is defining what persons should work during the week, and who is planning that, and how does it actually work?
Yeah, the team leads mostly. So like you saw the sections in the board, which is like we have right now we have like project management areas like PM and POs, mobile, QA support, design UX, and backend, and at least one person out of those sits together. And like it's not so many people, right? We have two QA, two designers. Like everybody there knows what they're currently working on, and so those people can then decide by talking to each other. Also, within next half an hour, you can figure out what the individual sub teams have to do for this week. So the team leads assign, but they're in close contact to every team member, yeah. And the team members might push back if it's stupid, which can happen sometimes.
Perfect. So the next one is again a question towards the feature team. So what happens if one feature team is done? Who is in charge of maintaining and further developing it? The team persons or overall team or everyone?
Yeah, you got me. There's like whoever asked that, that's one of I should have put that on the struggle slide still. But it's become less of a real world struggle. The thing is just it's very easy to kick off feature teams. It's very hard to say when something is really done, because when is something really, really done? And like that no further improvement, that like a ticket got created, maybe we do it in Q3 next year or so. Like when to properly close an effort, it's hard. It's a bit messy in terms of gyro state, but also we found like in practice it's not so bad. So it's like for well-defined big feature goals, you need this for a go live of a customer. It's obvious, like it needs to be there for the release, then it's done, it's set to done, and there it's managed. For other stuff that's more ongoing, it might not ever be set to done, or only like a month afterwards. It's like, ooh, is somebody still working on this? No, it's like good enough. Then you set it to done afterwards. But what's the real harm? Like nobody was really waiting on that ticket to be closed, except maybe somebody who's doing gyro reports in a couple of years. So that's good. The same person. So being in feature teams for the same topic for a long period of time will make you a specialist for some area. So I guess that's how those island specialists or the people start to exist. You have to be, that's manual effort, a bit conscious about to maybe get at least one or two other people in there sometimes. That's manual effort. It's not always perfect, but again, the sub teams are small, so you can usually manage to distribute a little bit.
Perfect. To come back to that, when is a feature done? A former work colleague of mine always said, when the software is decommissioned, then it's done.
Yeah. Okay.
So the next one is think towards the daily. So why does management need to know on a daily basis what the team is doing? Is that waste, even if it's just 10, 15 minutes?
Some people might agree. Also in our team, it's a trade-off. I would say though that like I'm not sure if I said it's reporting to management, but it was kind of like being, I don't know, a bit dramatic maybe, because I think like almost half of the time is also the other way around actually. It's also like a lot of the time management and PMs reporting back to the team, like what currently happened, or like a customer called, or this needs to be done now. So it's a bit of reporting in that way as well. Isn't it still a waste of time? Maybe. I think nowadays with the review actually working nicely, which was not always the case, this might not be so necessary anymore. But I think just usually the main advantage is this one or two important issues that need to be solved for the day, and for these 2 or 3 people need to stay after the daily and talk with each other. I guess that's the real gain. And that's why I, at least in my company, am the camp of we should still do it, and this alone is worth it to get like those daily roadblockers out of the way, even if it's always just a couple of people every day. But this is my opinion. Some other people in my company would probably also say it's maybe not necessary. Mhm.
Perfect. So prioritization shifted a little bit. So voting. How do you define the difference between setting priorities and setting a focus?
It's not so much of a difference, I guess. So like, I mean, depends on what is meant by priorities, I guess, but I would interpret it like on a gyro ticket, for example, you can set a priority or something like that. It's super connected with each other. It's just, like I said, I guess our focus board is more like visualizing only the high priority topics for the week. And I mean, the second part is also, maybe I should have put that in the presentation as well. Since we moved away from Scrum, right, we don't have an increment or so, but what Scrum also gives you is like a commitment from the team to fulfill some kind of like increment in a given time. And by moving on this rolling weekly Kanban cycle, we don't really have that commitment anymore. And this kind of brings back a bit the commitment on the individual level, that you say, like, this is your focus also for this week, just please work on this. I mean, of course, if it takes longer, it takes longer, but like still, like ideally the idea would be like focus on this. This is, I would say this is the gain for it.
Perfect. So the next one is one of your struggles you had. So releasing is a pain. Was that improved by the change?
Is the biggest open point. But again, it's more we've tried a lot, like automation, CI pipeline, how it connects with Jira and with QA. It's not horrible, but on I'm talking specifically backend side. The client side, it's a lot of work that goes into it, but the client side and releases, they are more like it's a lot of work, but you kind of need what you need to do. And when you do an SDK release, you write a big change log, and like the testing goes on there. But like the backend releases specifically, it's still being figured out right now how to best pipe it all together. I would say that the one thing that I mentioned, that we now weekly sit together to see if we're still aligned with what we promised for the customers, and like in the next 1 or 2 months, it helps a lot actually. But it's still it's way too much one-off discussion, and yeah, I didn't really make it a part of this presentation because I would not claim that we have it figured out at all. So I think this is like my personal biggest to do in the next like half a year to figure that out better. Yeah, so this process, it was improved by these changes, but it's not as good as it needs to be. Yeah. Mhm.
Perfect. Next one on the team structure. So are
Mhm.
people fully assigned to a team, or are they assigned to multiple teams?
Yeah, with what you saw before on the board with like those 5 thingies, this basically doesn't change. But I mean, there's no team police or so. Like, I mean, if you do something that may slightly is outside of the borders of your defined team, nobody's gonna stop you. The contrary, it might be, I guess, encouraged, but like in practice, it's just a rough grouping of, like, I mean, the designers will not suddenly start coding Kotlin, I guess. I mean, if they really want to, but no, so it's they are in general fully assigned, yeah.
And coming to
Mhm.
the focus item itself,
No,
is
no.
automated testing and part of that, or what's the scope of these focus items?
Automated tests, no, they are not part. They like this wouldn't be an individual focus item because this is like expected in the individual development effort. So it would be part of a feature. Yeah, automated testing. Yeah, I'm not gonna go on a tangent and talk about how integration tests are way more important, but it's no, it's not its own thing. But it is part of ownership, I guess. Yeah.
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 And for organizational and documentational purposes, are you syncing back the tasks in the board to Jira,
Yeah.
or?
No. Maybe in the future. We were thinking about it. It was the redundant effort that I was talking about. But again, like writing automation and making it all nice, it's not nothing. Like you have to do quite a bit of manual labor to justify weeks of automation development efforts. So it's like I'm not sure if it's yet such a pain point that we go that route. Documentation, there's nothing on that fiction board. Like it's very little content there. I think the review part is nice, that showcases features that were done. That might be something to think about. I think maybe also some other team members of mine might have different opinions, like the high level documentation. We have like a developer portal that's really well written with a lot of content that's owned by QA at ours in our team. And she it's one person, it's Lou. She does an amazing job, and I think maybe she might have an opinion on that. I will think with her about it.
For the automated syncing, it's just an internal tool, so you could wipe code it as well in minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I think less open to it. It's just not so much content. I think that we have in Fiction.
Yes. Did you always have that much fun memes in your daily work, or and are unicorns the better horses?
Yes, so like we are very Slack focused people, so we use Slack a lot, and on Slack you can have custom emotes, and I think we use that a lot. The Fiction definitely made it a bit more visual even, but as I said, it's just a bit playful, and it's just for us internally in the team, and I think it's really nice. So unicorns the better horses, yes.
And how do you deal with the bus lotto factor when people are that specialized?
We pray. I mean, it's as I said, we try manually to decentralize as much as we can, that nobody alone knows, like is the only guy who knows stuff. But like for a lot of things, there's like one main guy and then another guy who knows like 80% of it or so. And this worked for us so far. Yeah, not sure how to deal with it better than that. Open to suggestions.
That when the specialist takes ownership on a focus item, do they kind of act as a project manager for that focus item and recruit everyone who is needed in order to get the job done?
Might be, but is not necessarily expected. So like the idea would be that when something is kicked off, that's like a focus thing where the team leads are aware of, and they would say, I probably nominate that person from my team because that would make sense. And the others like nominate that person. So like you usually get probably like 90% of the time you select the initial people and it just works that way. But then if it turns out you might need somebody else, it might be somebody in the team that says need somebody else, we adjust. Yeah.
I think people like seeing you suffering because they're talking about your pain point.
It's
Who is
quite
working on release automation? Do you have a separate infra platform team?
Not. So do we have a separate infra platform team? Not really. We have basically one guy who is like the owner of most of the infrastructure, but he alone is not doing everything. There's like then a lot of people who are enabled to do a lot of different things and are owning a lot of different things. And then across all the teams and products like mobile clients and backend stuff, there's multiple people who are for their product or for their part of our product responsible for writing some release automation. Yeah, that's basically it. So it's a lot distributed, and it might look very different depending on the project they're working on. Yeah.
Perfect. So, and the last question, I think we are perfect in time now.
Yeah.
When and how do you plan the focus items for the week?
Wednesday, 11:30 to 12. It's like one meeting with the team leads, 5 people, and half an hour is usually enough. Yeah. It was today. Yeah.
So I guess that's all the questions. For closing this official part, thank you, Gabriel, for taking care of us. And of course, also thanks to Adesso for hosting us today. The next meetup will be on a new location. So we currently in discussion with a new company or with a different company who would like to host us. Speaking about that, we are always searching for hosts, and also very important, we are searching for speakers. So in case anyone is interested, approach us, propose some topics, or just propose a topic. We might make it happen with other people as well. And we would be happy to actually get you more involved and also get some feedback on what's needed. And now for ending this or continuing, Gabriel will join our remote participants shortly for a little bit of chit chat. And you here on site can enjoy food and drinks, which are prepared by Adesso. So thanks for that as well. And with that, thank you everyone and have a nice evening.
That's good.